getting in the ring with Errol right now?
I want to hurt him.
Yeah.
That's my mentality right now going into this fight, because I really want to do damage.
Tim has officially declared war on Errol Spence Jr.'s long-term health, admitting that his only remaining motivation is to inflict life-altering physical damage on the former champ. Tim isn't preparing for the faded version of the legend. He's hunting the prime, unstoppable truth that terrorized the division years ago.
Expecting the Errol Spence that was fighting Kell Brook back in the days, you know, that type of fighter, but we shall see. You know, that's questions for him to be answered.
Acknowledging the suffocating rhythm and piston-like jab that broke so many others, the Aussie star admits the challenge is immense. However, he's ready to turn up the temperature until the air in the ring becomes too thin for Spence to breathe.
Yeah, I think he's like very monotone. He's but he's very good at that.
Yeah.
You know, and it drowns you.
Yeah.
He's got a very stiff jab, and the jab is very consistent. So I think that's probably going to be the hardest part. But yeah, this fight is going to be a relentless style for me.
For the fans, it's a stylistic masterpiece, but for Tszyu, this is a deeply personal obsession years in the making. He has finally reached the name at the very top of his hit list, and he has no intention of letting the opportunity slip.
A bit of both, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like stylistically this is a fight that everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
There's a fan-friendly type fight. Two big names in the sport, so I feel like it's one for the fans, but at the same time, for myself, this is the fight that I've always sort of dreamt about.
Yeah.
Always wanted.
Yeah.
Always been on my hit list.
Yeah.
The traditional feeling out process has been tossed out the window in favor of a much more violent strategy. Tim promising a red-hot start, aiming directly for the kill shot the moment the opening bell rings.
I want to come in red hot. No feel out this time around. Just come in red hot, and I want to go in and really just go for his head straight away.
The respectful mask has finally dropped, revealing a grudge fueled by years of online disrespect and dismissive insults. This isn't just about business anymore. It's about silencing a man who dared to call him trash in front of the world.
Wait.
Yeah.
Ever since he started talking smack on Twitter and saying that Harrison was going to beat me and this and this and this and just bagging me out, calling me trash, I was like, you know what, I really want to get this guy.
That's dating way
I don't
back then,
want to yeah, I don't want to, I'm not the guy that talks bad about people. It's not me. But yeah, I've always sort of had this thing against Errol.
Beneath the aggression lies a dangerous new evolution, honed during secret training camps where he mastered the subtle art of the sweet science. He isn't just coming to brawl, he's coming as a refined, more technical version of the wrecking ball we once knew.
Like maybe 2 years that you've had.
Yeah, I think it's important, you know, keep the wheels in motion, keep them flowing, keep learning new things. I went over to Miami for 2 camps and learned new things. Worked a lot on just boxing, you know, not just trying to go in there and be aggressive, but just learn a bit of the art of it, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to do, and yeah, now we're on to the next one.
In a move that could change everything, Tim has returned to his roots and sought the guidance of a legendary mentor who truly understands his soul. Being back on home soil has unlocked a level of comfort and focus that might just be the final piece of the puzzle.
Technically, just being at home. I think that was a big part, just being at home, you know. Spent so many months just away, so it felt like it was sort of affecting me to a certain extent, you know.
Yeah.
Just being comfortable at home, and then that's why I came to Jeff, and I was like, he's the guy that makes me comfortable. So yeah, so it's a legend in the sport.
Having shared the ring with Tim, Amari Jones knows exactly what kind of heat is coming and issues a grim warning about the mental toll this fight will take. Whether Errol is truly ready for the psychological warfare and physical pressure that only someone who has sparred with Tim can understand.
Man, Tim gonna come to fight, and no doubt about it. You know, we didn't see that him against Fundora and everything.
Yeah.
He's gonna come to fight, and you know, Errol is not backing down from nothing. So, you know, we didn't see that numerous of times. So that's just gonna make it a more interesting fight, is who's gonna be the one to back down or who's gonna be the one to finish the fight.
Amari highlights the massive uncertainty surrounding which version of EJ will walk into the ring against a man who never backs down from a challenge. He sees this as the ultimate litmus test for both fighters, with the high-stakes atmosphere making it a must-watch for the entire sport.
Honestly, with that fight, you know, you kind of don't know for real. Like, EJ is real confident, and you just don't know what Errol's going to show up to the fight, and so I can't really give a prediction.
Okay.
I just want the best man to win. You know, Tim, my guy, and you know, he's always up for the biggest test. So man, you know, him and Errol getting it done is good for boxing.
The sparring partner reflects on the invisible scars of boxing, wondering if the mental weight of past battles has finally caught up with the former champion. It's a chilling reminder that in a game where 75% of the fight is won in the mind, any crack in the foundation could lead to a total collapse.
Man, I don't know. I can't speak for, you know, mentally what he went through, you know, after that fight. 'Cause I've never been there, you know, so I can't say how much of a toll or, you know, anything like that it took on him. So man, but mentally, boxing, you know, it's a lot of mental in it. You know what I mean? It's probably 75% mental is the game, and so now it's just, if he feels like this is the time for him, he might be back. I don't know. I can't say.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia weighs in on the razor-thin margin for error, suggesting that the outcome hinges entirely on how much of the old Errol Spence Jr. is actually left. He acknowledges Tim's sharp growth and dangerous combinations, setting the stage for a fight where a single physical decline could mean a changing of the guard.
Yeah, and if he's fresh and he's good, then he could win. Because Tim Tszyu is also kind of in that direction where he looked good. I like the way he fought. Yeah. He did good counters, good fucking combinations. So Tim Tszyu did good in his fight. And he fought a decent guy too. Yeah. And he did good. So I'm not saying Tim is finished. But if Errol Spence has nothing left, then he's gonna get then Tim Tszyu is gonna beat him.
But if he has something left, then he could win.
Then he could win.
Greg Hackett lays out the cold reality of the boxing business, explaining that this performance alone will decide if the doors stay open or slam shut forever. It's a do or die moment where a single bad night could turn a superstar into a memory in an instant.
I mean, depending on how Earl do, I think that determines how they move. You know what I mean? Simple as that. If you go in there and wipe something out, all right, we're going to throw you a bone. You go in there and you struggle a little bit, but you win. All right, we're going to throw you something that's tough, but, you know, worth the money. You go in there and be horrible, might be the last time you hear from us. Might not say.
This isn't just a physical war. It's a high-stakes chess match where being the bully might not be enough to secure the win. The focus shifts to who can stay composed and outsmart their opponent when the leather starts flying and the exchanges get ugly.
Out and be aggressive with a jab and not getting caught up in little arguments where they going back and forth with each other. You know, if they sit there trading back and forth, they either one of them got a shot. But whoever's being a little bit smarter than the other, I think has a chance. I think that's how this fight goes. I don't think Errol Spence just going there and just bully Tim Tszyu. But I think it'll be spots where he could play bully. I don't think Tim Tszyu could go in there and just do what he want to Errol, but it's going to be spots he can get off. Yeah, you know, whoever's the smarter fighter wins this fight.
The veteran trainer looks past the physical scars of the past and finds a renewed, terrifying energy in the mindset of the fighters. He believes the long layoff may have actually sharpened the hunger, making this a collision of two men who are finally in the right headspace for a war.
I think it's a perfect matchup. Perfect matchup because both of them have been through their fair share of wars and things like that. Errol Spence with the accidents, Errol Spence with the Boy Crawford fight. But I feel like he took enough time off where he could get healthy and get in his bag. You know what I mean? And I think before anything, the attitude matters. Yeah, the mindset matters. The attitude and mindset that he's in right now.
Chris Algieri points out that both men are stepping into the ring at a vulnerable crossroads where their timelines finally collide. With both fighters coming off devastating losses, the real mystery is who has more spirit left and who is simply a shadow of their former self.
Is it a good fight? Yes. But the question marks surrounding him are there. And, you know, because he's been so absent from the sport, he's been inactive. He is coming off, you know, that really bad loss to Terrence Crawford. How much is really left in the tank? Only him and his team will really know at this point. How is he going to react to punches on fight night? We're never going to know. But honestly, Tszyu is coming off a really bad run himself. So I do actually think it's a good matchup in terms of timelines, their timelines crossing. It makes sense. It's not like we're throwing, you know, Errol right into Virgil Ortiz. That I would be very concerned about and really wouldn't want to see that. But this fight makes sense.
Yeah.
The former champ admits that while a prime truth would dominate the division, nobody actually knows if that version of the man still exists. It's a haunting uncertainty that makes every second of this buildup feel like a gamble with a legacy on the line.
Really couldn't tell you because we don't know how much Errol has. I think Errol at his best would be one of the top guys at 54. You know, but we haven't seen Errol at his best in a very long time.
Algieri warns that the days of fighting smart and avoiding damage might be over as years of heavy-handed wars finally start to take their toll. He fears that without a tune-up to shake off the rust, the accumulated damage will catch up the moment the first big punch lands.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been a career arc. Errol is Mr. I don't do tune-ups, you know, and he's coming off a long way. I don't think so. I think, you know, you're going to deal with ring rust because, you know, I think of Errol at his best is when he was really busy and fighting often, and he had a style that was, he was in and out. You saw some of that, his amateur pedigree. The way he fought me and Mikey Garcia, he fought very, very smart. He didn't take unnecessary damage. But later on in his career, you saw him, he was a little more flat-footed, he was more willing to engage. It was way more fun to watch, but that's not made for longevity, you know, and when you're not fighting as often, your timing's a little off. You get hit with big punches early on. And getting hit with big shots, I don't care who you are.
Lonnie B questions the sanity of jumping straight into deep water against a shark like Tim after such a crushing defeat. He worries that instead of a comeback, this might be a setup for a second, even more definitive downfall.
But I think it's good for Spence. I mean, Tim Tszyu is a lot to bite off of a first fight back coming off his destruction of Terrence Crawford. I just think that's, if I had to pick, I would lean more towards Tim Tszyu.
In a rare moment of raw emotion, Lonnie B admits he'd rather see the former champ walk away now with his dignity intact. He dreads the thought of watching a great warrior get dismantled again, fearing this fight will only tarnish a once glittering legacy.
I don't know how Spence, I just don't know, you know what I'm saying? And the way he looked. I don't want to see Spence fight again. That's just me. And it's emotional for me because I'm a fighter. And Spence, I would rather Spence just go out with that right there and just remember him for being great in his time and just fighting a guy that was better than him. Like, I don't want to see him lose to Tim Tszyu or even get stopped by Tim Tszyu.
Looking closely at the physical signs from the last time we saw him in the ring, Lonnie spots a vulnerability that's impossible to ignore. He warns that while it might not be a carbon copy of the Crawford massacre, the end result could be just as painful to watch.
Going off his last fight and him getting hit, not taking shots well, I can see it happening. Not as detrimental as Crawford did it, but I can see maybe something like that happening.
Okay.
Ultimately, the boxing world is split between those who see this as Tim Tszyu's breakout moment and those who fear for Errol Spence Jr.'s safety after such a long and grueling absence. With both fighters undergoing major training camp changes and carrying the weight of their past losses into the ring, the margin for error has never been thinner. This isn't just a battle for a comeback. It's a high-stakes gamble where the loser might find the doors to the elite level closed for good. One man is fighting to prove he's still the elite truth we once knew, while the other is ready to step over a legend to claim his throne. It is a collision where legacy meets a cold new reality, and only one will survive the fallout. What do you think about this dangerous crossroads for both men? And does Errol Spence still have enough left in the tank to survive the heat Tim promising to bring from the opening bell? Do you believe Tim Tszyu's decision to switch coaches and return to his roots in Australia will give him the mental edge he needs to finally take down a legend? Or is he taking a massive risk by changing his team right before the biggest fight of his life? Could we be looking at the final chapter of Errol's career if he suffers another stoppage loss? And who do you see standing tall when the dust finally settles in this high-stakes war? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tune in for more videos like this.